So I did some research into how our students learn, and it turns out that many of them didn't buy textbooks. In fact, over 50% didn't buy any textbooks. And so they weren't really using the textbooks for medical ethics at all. And I realised that that was kind of an outdated mode of study for them. So I created something that was innovative, interactive, had very concise information in it, and they could access online. As it turns out, online or lecturers' notes was where they were getting most of their information anyway. So it really fit in with the way that they wanted to access information. But the interactivity made it concise. I had to make it concise so that they stayed engaged. Did a fair bit of testing using pilot groups and teachers as well, and got it to a point where we were getting lots of good feedback on it because it was visually engaging as well as the content. So that was my thought process behind doing it. So in our medical program, we have students learning in the clinical workplace for a large part of this. And for the last couple of years, they're entirely in the workplace. And they have quite different journeys to each other, so no one student will go through exactly the same placements or teachers. And clinical ethics can be quite hard to understand and also quite hard to teach. So our supervisors even vary in their ability and comfort to deal with ethical issues in medicine. And so what the development of these modules did was it created some quite high quality, calibrated learning modules for students that outline some of the really top ethical issues and scenarios they would encounter in their clinical work. And it allowed them to access these, and they were very immersive because they were 3D, so they engaged the kind of emotional elements as well as the content learning parts of the scenarios. All students could access it wherever they were. It also meant that everywhere, whether our students were rural or metro, whatever, they would be able to access these learning resources. And even these were able to be adapted in some other countries when students weren't able to actually see patients physically anymore because of COVID, for instance. I think we'll end up having a very hybrid model of face-to-face and online learning, and I think we're getting better at adapting our educational deliverables to that kind of approach. So we know that things have to be engaging and they have to be interactive, and students also love face-to-face interactions with both their peers but also with their educators as well. And I think we're better at testing things, putting together things, trying things. So I think we'll be moving more along that. I think we'll be moving from the passive learning approach that we used to use in lectures, for instance, where students came in and sat down. Now those things can be broken into interactive kind of chunks of learning. I think the other really important thing that we're doing is getting student engagement in the co-design of learning resources, because of course they know what they need, what the pain points are, and also how they learn best. And so we're getting better at doing that. I think we're becoming more collaborative, so we're learning across different faculties, for instance, together. I've got students who are doing things in engineering, for instance, because in the real workplace, that's what they'll be doing. They'll be working in teams that are not just one kind of profession. So I think we'll be much more modelling what students are going to experience in the workplace at university. So we'll be developing a lot of inter-faculty collaborations, I think.